meeting of the Rome City Commission. We begin every meeting with a invocation and pledge to the flag, and tonight Commissioner Harry Brock has the honor. If you will, stand. And Commissioner Brock.
Thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for the opportunity to live in this great community. Give us wisdom to make decisions that are in the best interest of this community and serve your will. In His name we pray, amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I got some.
Mr. Clerk, if you will, call the roll.
Sir. Mayor McDaniel.
Here.
Commissioner Bojo.
Here.
Brock.
Here.
Cochran.
Here.
Beeman.
Here.
Dawes.
Here.
Quick.
Here.
Collins.
Here.
Robinson.
Here.
Mayor, when I was in the 7th grade, that same gentleman just led this parade. His old daddy was teaching us about it then. Harry's daddy was the principal at West Rome.
What now? I'm sorry.
I said, some years back, when I was about in the 7th grade, Harry reminded me of the fact when he led that pledge, his old daddy was leading us back then at West Rome High School. You remember?
That means y'all go way back.
Yeah.
Way back. There's a lot of us up here that go way, 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 way back. And we all used to wear green and white.
Yes, we did.
A lot of us did.
You've all received the minutes of the June 9th, 2025 meeting, and we will approve those by common consent. We have one proclamation tonight. I'm going to ask our Mayor Pro Tem Jim Bojo to read that proclamation. And if there's someone here to receive that, it's regarding the Juneteenth celebration. If you will, come forward.
Good evening. Good. Alvin, I was wondering if everybody was going to stand over here.
Alvin's ready for it.
Alvin's only brave. Hi, this proclamation brought to you by for the city of Rome, and it reads as is. Whereas, on June 19th, 1865, Union soldiers, led by Major General Gordon Granger, arrived on the shores of Galveston, Texas, to declare the end of the Civil War and to enforce President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which was issued more than 2 years prior, proclaiming freedom for all enslaved individuals in the Confederate States. And whereas, as one of the oldest American holidays, Juneteenth commemorates the freeing of formerly enslaved individuals and their descendants. It has historically been a time of prayer, reflection, and family reunions. And whereas Juneteenth also highlights the artistic and intellectual achievements collectively preserved through the pre- and post-Middle Passage, the slave trade, the Emancipation era, and the Civil Rights Movement, as well as more recent accomplishments of African American cultural expression. And whereas, although Juneteenth is specific to the emancipation of African descendants, its message promotes the continued freedom and economic prosperity of individuals from all races, colors, creeds, and cultures. And whereas the Rome Floyd NAACP is hosting the 3rd annual Juneteenth parade in downtown Rome, coming this Saturday, June 21st, 2025, marking the federal holiday with community celebration and reflection, and the City of Rome honors this occasion as a solemn recognition of past suffering and hopeful reaffirmation of progress and unity. Therefore, Mayor Craig McDaniel, along with the Rome City Commission, would like to recognize and honor the observance of the celebration of June 19th, 2025 as Juneteenth.
If any of you would like to speak, you can go to the podium.
Most of you all know me. I'm Jackie Jenkins. I serve as the secretary for the Rome Floyd branch, 5230. I also serve for the Georgia State Conference out of Atlanta, Georgia, as well. So I stay pretty busy. Juneteenth marks one of the most important moments in American history, the end of slavery in the United States. On June 19, 1865, federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, and informed 250,000 enslaved peoples across the state that they were free. 2.5 years after Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. Though the Civil War was nearing the end, Confederate troops still held much of Texas, and the Emancipation Proclamation was enforced until the Union Army took control of the state. Since then, June 19 has been celebrated as a day of freedom and remembrance. Texas was the first state to designate Juneteenth as a state holiday in 1890. However, Juneteenth was recognized as a federal holiday until over 150 years after the date. It was 160 years ago that enslaved people in Galveston, Texas learned that they had been freed. After the Civil War's end and 2 years after President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, the resulting Juneteenth holiday, its naming combined, June and 19th, has only grown into 1.5 centuries in 2021. President Joe Biden designated it a federal holiday, expanding its recognition beyond Black America. This holiday is significant as it represents a pivotal moment in American history, symbolizing freedom and the ongoing struggle for equality. It is often referred to as America's second Independence Day and serves as a reminder of the resilience and achievements of African Americans. Juneteenth is a federal holiday in the United States. Legislation establishing the holiday was passed by Congress on June 16, 2021, and signed into law by U.S. President Joe Biden the following day. Opal Lee, known as the grandmother of Juneteenth, was integral to making Juneteenth a national holiday. But when the U.S. President Joe Biden signed federal legislation making Juneteenth a national holiday in June of 21, in wake of murder of George Floyd the year earlier, Lee was at his side. He gave her a check for $6.19, symbolizing the date as a contribution to a Juneteenth museum being built in Fort Worth, Texas. A lady named Opal Lee became widely known in the 21st century as the grandmother of Juneteenth for her role in having the date when Union soldiers arrived in Texas in 1865 to tell the enslaved peoples of the state of that the Emancipation Proclamation had granted them their freedom. Made a national holiday in 2021. Was a human rights activist and retired teacher. She played a significant role in the movement to make Juneteenth a federal recognized holiday on June 17, 2021. President Biden signed Senate Bill S-475, making Juneteenth the 11th federal holiday and awarded Lee the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And it's a lot more. I'm gonna skip down. I don't think anyone should be intimidated or obligated into not celebrating the day. There's no reason to feel awkward about wanting to recognize Juneteenth. You have no personal ties or you are not Black. In fact, embrace it. I would reframe and challenge my non-Black folks who want to lean into Juneteenth and celebrate. It absolutely is your history. It absolutely is a part of your experience. Isn't this all our history? The good, the bad, the ugly, the story of emancipation and freedom for your Black brothers and sisters under the Constitution of law. Over the decades, Juneteenth has also been called Freedom Day, Emancipation Day, Black 4th of July, and Second Independence Day. Ms. Opal Lee was always quoting, "We are not free until we are all free." We've got so many things that we need to attend to, and I contend we can do it much better if we was all on the same page. Ms. Lee also stated, what we are trying to get people to understand is that Juneteenth is freedom. And I don't mean just for black people or Texas people, it's freedom for everybody. Let us remember her words for safekeeping. Remember what she said, Juneteenth is bigger than Texas, singing or dancing, bands. Juneteenth is freedom, rising, and freedom is for everyone. Juneteenth is you and me. Opal Lee, often referred to as the grandmother of Juneteenth, famously said, if people can be taught to hate, they can be taught to love. They can be, but we need to know you can't erase history. So let's learn from it and be sure it doesn't happen again. That is what Juneteenth is.
We have one registered guest, Ken Wright. Ken, if you will, come to the podium.
Hey guys, I'll be quick.
You'll have 3 minutes, if you will, give us your name and address.
Okay, Ken Wright, P.O. Box 324, Silver Creek, Georgia. Hey, I'm coming to speak on the moratorium that y'all put on convenience stores and gas stations, and I don't have a lot of passion in this, I'll just be honest, because on the application side, I understand it. I hate coin-operated machines. I don't like the stores that sell drug paraphernalia and all that, so I get that. However, as a matter of principle, I feel like I need to say something because imagine, if you will, there's a convenience store that wants to open up. They sell gas. They got people that actually pump the gas for you. They help the mothers with young kids that don't want to get out of their car. They're helping handicapped or physically disabled. The prices are cheap. They don't have coin-operated machines. They don't sell cigarettes or drug paraphernalia. Well, guess what? They can't open right now because y'all just put a moratorium on it. So actually, your moratorium now is protecting the stores and the gas stations that have that while somebody new can't open up. The whole principle is it's competitive commerce, it's free enterprise, it's the whole system of capitalism. The strongest survive. I mean, a lot of people think we have too many Mexican restaurants, we've got too many car washes, so where does it end? Are we gonna stop those too? So while I understand an application because I hate the coin-operated machines, I don't even like the lottery. And maybe that's what we need to stop, lottery. It's the worst thing that ever happened to education. You know, the Hope Grants and stuff, that just destroyed education. So I get it. I know you don't want lotteries. I know you don't want coin-operated machines. I know you think they're bad. But to affect people's business, somebody that might want to open a business, I don't really think it's the right solution. The other thing I was going to speak about while I'm here is I just saw we spent $2 million again on a piece of land for a Rome City Police Department after spending over $2 million for a piece of land on technology for a Rome City Police Department. The thing that bothers me the most about that is back in the day, I knew Frog over at Rome City, and I knew Jim Free, and I knew Bill White, and I knew for years all they wanted was a joint law enforcement system. We got that. SPLOST passed. Taxpayers voted for it, and that's the part that bothers me is because taxpayer money was spent for a joint law enforcement building, and now we've split that up, and now we've spent another $4 million now to try to get another Rome City, and I know we've spent money on Floyd County too. I mean, we're talking millions and millions of dollars, and when it comes down to it, it's the police officers, it's law enforcement that we have to thank that does the job. I'd rather give them all $80,000 to $100,000 a year and not keep spending millions on land and facilities, and heck, they can work from home, they can meet somewhere. That's just my opinion. I don't like that we split up a SPLOST project. I don't like that we divided what taxpayers wanted, and I don't like that we continue to spend money on land and facilities and buildings. When it comes right down to it, law enforcement is the people, and I'd rather reward the people than spending that money on land and buildings. Thank you.
Thank you. We have no resolutions, nothing on first reading, nothing on second reading, nothing continued on first reading, no public hearings. Mr. Clark, you have anything?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Got a couple of announcements. First, our City of Rome offices will be closed on Thursday, June 19th, in observance of the Juneteenth holiday. Services, obviously today and Tuesday for our solid waste will remain consistent. However, if you are typically picked up on Thursday, Garbage, recycling, and yard waste will actually be serviced on Wednesday. Friday's going to be business as usual. We will close the Walker Mountain landfill on Thursday, June 19th also. Second item, another closing. The City of Rome offices will be closed on Friday, July 4th in observance of Independence Day. Services and solid waste will operate as normal Monday and Tuesday. Garbage and recycling for Thursday and Friday will both be picked up on Thursday with no yard cart services. And then additionally, we will have the Walker Mountain landfill closed on Friday, July the 4th. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Attorney. Under my time, the Rome Floyd Development Authority will meet in the morning, Tuesday, June 17th at 9 a.m. at 800 Broad Street. And the Rome City Commissioners will be attending the Georgia Municipal Association, GMA 2025 Annual Conference from June the 19th to June 24th in Savannah, Georgia. This is an annual meeting that we have, be training classes for each of the commissioners. We look forward, I'm not going to say we look forward to that. There was a time I looked forward to it, but we'll be attending that June the 19th through the 24th in Savannah. Commissioner Bojo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Community Redevelopment Committee will meet Wednesday, June 25th, 2 o'clock in the Sam King Room, and the Finance Committee is tentatively scheduled to meet June 25th, 10 a.m. in the Sam King Room. That is probably going to change because of some financial stuff that we haven't gotten in or won't have completed by then. Water and Sewer will meet Thursday, July 3rd, 9 o'clock in the Sam King Room. And I've got a resolution that has to come before the commission. And I'll just read it and then we can discuss it. It says, be it resolved, the Rome City Commission and hereby resolved by the authority of same that the fee schedule book for the City of Rome, Georgia be revised to establish the following rates and effective dates for wastewater hauler disposal rates. The current rate is currently when they bring, the haulers bring things to be disposed of at the treatment. They pay $125 per
That's for load.
a load,
Yeah.
okay? And we are making the rate change effective October 1st to change it go from 125 to 175. And the 175 is still below most all the other areas in northwest Georgia, northeast Alabama. And it's just something that we need to do because of the cost involved in the whole thing. So I'll answer questions or.
That comes in the form of a motion. Need a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Bojo,
Yes.
Brock,
Yes.
Cochran,
Yes.
Beeman,
Yes.
Doss.
Yes.
Quick,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
That concludes my
Carries.
report.
Commissioner Brock.
Yes, Tourism Committee will meet Wednesday, June 25th at 11:45 at the Civic Center, and that's all I have.
Commissioner Cochran.
Historic Preservation Committee will meet Wednesday, June the 18th at 2:30 p.m. in the Sam King Room. They normally meet in this room, but this room is hosting the BOA meeting, which has been moved up a day because of Juneteenth. So they're meeting in the Sam King Room. That completes
Commissioner
my report.
Beeman.
I have no report, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Doss.
Yes, on Committee on Committees, I'll do this in a joint motion to appoint to the Historic Preservation Commission Monica Shepard, and to appoint to the Parks and Recreation Authority Reverend Phil Wade. And that's my motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Bojo,
Yes.
Brock,
Yes.
Cochran,
Yes.
Beeman,
Yes.
Doss.
Yes.
Quick,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That is my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Quick.
Just a couple of meeting announcements to bring forward. The Public Works Traffic Transit Trails Committee will meet Wednesday, July 9th, 9 a.m. in the Sam King Room. And the Rome Floyd County Planning Commission will meet on Thursday, July 3rd, here in the Commission chambers. And that concludes my report.
Thanks, sir. Commissioner Collins?
Northwest Regional Commission, I think we don't meet again until August. On Floyd Park and Rec, we meet tomorrow at 12 noon at the Parker Center. That's my report.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Robinson?
Yeah, I have a few announcements. The Alcohol Control Commission Committee will meet on Tuesday, June the 17th at 5:00 p.m. right here in the Commission chambers. And the Downtown Development Authority will meet on Thursday, July the 10th at 8:30 in the Milner Building. And then last, the First Friday concert for July will be held on Friday, July the 11th, starting at 7 p.m. with the performances by Jesse and the Boys and them Mixing Boys. So don't dare miss that. Be there. That's all I have.
Nothing else? We're adjourned. Thank you all.